Okay, so when the new Xpeng G6, when it was revealed in China recently, I've got the Xpeng G6, the current model. The new one's been revealed. I saw the new one and I thought, yeah, my model's really good. The new one doesn't look that much better. Who cares, really, kind of? But some of the details now have emerged for the new Xpeng G6. One, it is cheaper. Two, it has a bigger lithium iron phosphate battery. And three, well, charging speed is unbelievable. I mean, wow. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. The Xpeng G6, the new version has been launched in China and the price is cheaper, but it's actually a lot better than the previous version. We now know that. It wasn't as far as the official documents revealed to us earlier, but we now know. We've seen videos from China. There's actually a video on, not YouTube, but it's on like Chinese social media, Weibo, showing the Xpeng G6 legitimately charging in an insanely fast speed. I mean, nothing that any car models available in Australia right now can actually achieve. Xpeng said it takes about 12 minutes to charge the battery from 10 to 80%, 12 minutes. So that will be the fastest charging electric car here in Australia, along with the new Zeekr 7X when that arrives. Now, of course, the Xpeng G6, it's projected to be the Zeekr 7X will be a bit more expensive than the Xpeng G6. So they're probably not going to be in the same price bracket, I don't think. But this is one thing worth mentioning here. Tesla Model Y, the new Tesla Model Y. Guys, I did place an order for that, and it was more just, to be honest, to compare it to the Xpeng G6. But I am strongly thinking about cancelling that order because I just think to myself, the new Model Y, it's good, it's improved. But honestly, same charging speed. It's still 250 kilowatt charging. Not bad, but it's nothing like this. This technology now is truly incredible. So the new prices revealed in China show that the base model is called the Long Range Max Technology Edition, and it costs $24,400 US in China. That is incredible. The Long Range Max Ultimate Edition gets some better features, and I'll talk about what those are in a minute. That costs $25,800, so it's an extra $1,400. But the 725 Ultra Long Range Max Ultimate Edition, which gets the NMC battery, it's an 80 kilowatt hour NMC battery, that is $27,500. So only a few $1,000s more to get that Max Ultimate Long Range version of the car. Now, nicely, there's only 3 options. I love this. Simplicity, 3 options. I often get confused when car manufacturers come out and they've got, 10 different choices, even more than that sometimes. Sometimes they even have 10 or 15 different options. If you combine the different engine choices, you can get, Toyota have some models where there's a hybrid, there's a plug-in hybrid, there's a gasoline-powered version, there's a diesel-powered version, and then there's 6 different trims for each version. So it ends up there's like 30 models to choose from. It's just way too confusing. 3 choices for me, that's good. The front face has one change, a 1,942 millimeter long light strip that integrates the turn signal visual. So it's just a slight difference on the front. The light bar goes all the way across rather than not quite all the way across. The biggest change is the battery. It's called 5C Ultra Fast Charging. They call them AI batteries, and it takes 10 minutes to put 450 kilometers of range into the car. But crucially, the biggest difference actually is not just with regular charging, which is amazing, but it's with really cold charging. If you live in a cold climate, this is where this car is probably going to be the best option for you. In extremely cold conditions of minus 30 degrees Celsius, it takes 15 minutes to replenish the battery from 10 to 80%. So it only adds 3 minutes to the charge time if you're in a temperature of minus 30 degrees Celsius. This is the ideal car for people in Northern Europe. If you're looking for a car in, say, Norway, in Denmark, Sweden, places where it gets really, really cold, this would be the ideal model, the ideal car to get. Your charging speed is going to be remarkable. You're going to charge in probably 3 times faster than most of the alternatives on the market. In addition, the 5C Ultra Fast Charging AI battery has what's called, Xpeng are calling it, bulletproof armor, where the top part can withstand a high temperature of 1,000 degrees Celsius, and the side can withstand a pressure of 80 tons in a collision scenario. The bottom can, they say, withstand an impact of 2,000 joules. So that's pretty ridiculous, right? Side impact, that's the biggest issue. The big thing that concerns me when I'm driving a car and I've got my children, my boys in the car, or any person's kids, is side impact. I've had a few situations lately. Happened to me 3 times. It even happened to me yesterday. I had a truck go through a roundabout right when I was going through the roundabout. They illegally went through, and if I didn't slam the brakes on, I would have smashed right into the truck. That kind of side impact from a truck would be terrible. If you can withstand an 80-ton impact from the side, it's going to help a lot. It's going to definitely improve your chances of living in that scenario. Power comes from a rear permanent magnet synchronous motor that puts out about the same power as before, 218 kilowatt, which is 292 horsepower and 450 newton meters. Comes with a lithium iron phosphate battery. The standard version with the standard size battery, that battery is a bit bigger. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery. But before I get to that, the 0 to 100 time, or 0 to 62 miles an hour, is 6.3 seconds, no rollout. So it is a little bit faster than before. Before it was about 6.9 to 7 seconds. Top speed is 202 kilometers an hour. Now, on a private racetrack, I have tested the top speed. It will do that speed. It definitely does do it. It's not an exaggeration. Advanced driver assist capabilities. In China, the Xpeng G6 gets a Turing AI intelligent driving system with a front and rear 8 megapixel cameras, millimeter wave radar, ultrasonic radar, powered by dual NVIDIA Orin smart driving chips. It actually has around 11 cameras around the car. Apparently, in China, the Xpeng, people say they have the best, or are right up there with the best, full self-driving in China. And I've seen some videos showing this. One thing I wanted to point out, I got an email from someone saying, the Xpeng G6, the Tesla Model Y, neither of them have a glove box. And because they don't have a glove box, I'm not going to buy one. I'm not going to say who this was, but the Xpeng G6 and the Tesla Model Y and some other EVs, they actually have a huge amount of space in the actual box that sits next to you. It's under the armrest in the car. The box is a 9-liter box, which is actually bigger than most glove boxes. It can hold 5 bottles of 600 ml water. And there's also a section right under where you charge your phones. Really big space there. And you can buy this little accessory for $10 on AliExpress, which enables you to store some pretty large items under that area as well, which is what I've personally done. So what about range? Well, the 2 lower priced variants have a 68 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery, which gives the car 625 kilometers of range. So it has more range than the previous model by about 50 kilometers. WLTP, you're probably going to find about a 40 kilometer range increase, meaning very likely you're going to go from 435 kilometers of range in the standard base model to probably around about 500 kilometers of range, or maybe just under, maybe about 480. That will mean, though, it's going to be it's already a really compelling car, but with these changes, it's the best. I believe it's going to be the best car in its class without any question. What about the longer range version? Well, the longer range version, the battery is actually a little bit smaller. It's gone from 87 kilowatt hour battery down to an 80.8 kilowatt hour battery. So I think range will be probably about the same. Apparently efficiency is improved. So range might stay about the same at about 5, might go down slightly down to about 560 kilometers WLTP. Yeah, Xpeng are claiming the range hasn't changed at all. They say the CLTC range for the long range version is 725 kilometers. The old version was 725 kilometers. I'm going to guess that's probably just they put different wheels on it. I don't think you get the same range if the battery is, around 10% smaller. But here's the point now. Maybe the choice now would be to say to yourself, well, I was going to get the long range version. Maybe now I'll get the standard range version because that's got a bigger battery than what it had before. And it might be the better value option. So all 3 variants of the G6 currently, there's no dual motor version yet of this new version. So all 3 variants are single motor, the same motor, 218 kilowatt and 450 newton meters of torque. They all do the same performance, around 6.3 seconds. The price in China has gone down by 11%, which is, I don't know, I find this remarkable. It just seems too cheap, to be honest, for how good of a car this is. And I know how good it is because I own the current version the just superseded version. It's a great car. So considering all the changes, there are some other changes to the car. There's some additional colors, which I think is good. I like these new colors. They have added starry purple. They've added cloud beige. And there's now a total of 6 colors, including crescent silver, star gray, nebula white, dark night black. So really, they've just added those 2 colors, purple and beige. And the beige does not look like beige. I don't know what they're talking about. But anyhow, what about the size? The size is, it's the same size car. It has a slightly different bumper. So it's a couple of millimeters difference, but it's basically the same size vehicle. In terms of the interior, it's been changed. The newly upgraded Dark Night Black trim features blackened sports rims, calipers are black as well, I think, and a dark grey, space grey interior. So the interior is a little different. Xpeng say it's more premium. To me, it doesn't look a whole lot different, but there's probably some small changes there. The cabin comes with a 10.25-inch LCD instrument panel, but pretty much the same as the existing one in my car. It has a 15.6-inch floating central control screen. The screen is a little bigger. It's gone from 15 inches to 15.6 inches. It does, though, have a Qualcomm Snapdragon SA8295P chip, and it's connected to Xpeng's self-developed XGPT large language model, meaning if their full self-driving options ever available in Australia, it will get better, like Tesla's. They're basically, Xpeng do a very, very similar thing to Tesla. They use vision as their primary source of being able to upgrade their self-driving, and they constantly collect data like Tesla does. So that means that's a reference to their large language model. They're constantly working on improving it with data from actual drivers. Other upgrades include the 9-inch streaming rearview mirror, which is a nice change. The soft material in the wireless fast charging area, cloud sense seats that support heating, ventilation, and massage functions for the front seats. Don't know if that'll come outside of China. And in addition to that, they claim the trunk volume is 647 litres. Here in Australia, they've said it's 570 litres for the existing model. Has the trunk space increased in the new version? I don't think so. I think it's the same. They're just coming up with a different way of measuring it. Anyhow, we finally got the details on the Xpeng G6. And before, I have to admit, I was a little disappointed. I thought, it doesn't sound like it's improved all that much. But now I've seen the full information, and I've got to say, it's a pretty good upgrade. Would I now prefer this new Xpeng G6 or the new Tesla Model Y? I've got to say this. Technologically, this is far more advanced than a Model Y. In a Model Y in America, different story, because in America, you guys get the full self-driving capacity, and it actually works extremely well in America. It's amazing. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But outside of the United States, Tesla is definitely behind the Xpeng G6 in terms of technology. It's a better choice. It really is a better option, especially with these new features now. This charging speed, I mean, think about it this way, right? It's going to take you nearly 3 times as long to charge your Tesla at a proper supercharging, a good supercharging station with 350 kilowatt charging. It's going to take you, not quite 3 times as long, but not that far off, 2.5 times as long, right? And the G6 is cheaper. And it definitely has a nicer interior. And there's a screen right in front of the driver. Yeah. And it doesn't have any kind of connections at all to Elon Musk, which for some people is a big issue.